Hello everyone, it's Natalie with Crochet by NatalieLucille, and I got a message from a viewer. Thank you, Diane from Australia, for bringing this to my attention. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to do a video about this. So her question was, she has made some of the clover earrings, but the thread that she's using, the floss actually, is either too big. The earrings come out really big, and then the crochet hook, I stated that it was a size 7. Well, in Australia, it's like real big, huge hooks. So I wanted to make a video of the materials that I do use, and if you look in the description box below, I'll have links to where you can find the similar materials. And most of the time, because especially when COVID hit and a lot of the places were locked down, like a lot of our hobby stores, I used Amazon. So you can pretty much find anything on Amazon. And I'm hoping, Diane, that you might be able to find these on Amazon and they'll be shipped to Australia, or however you have your Amazon distributors in Australia, because I know that we have them in America, but I'm not sure about other countries. So let's get started. One of the things that I do use when I knit and crochet is I have this handy dandy little tool that you can almost, and these are harder to put in. This really is a lot for the knitting, but you can use them for both. But you can poke your crochet hook in here, and you can actually get the size that it is. So this one would be the equivalent. It's not necessarily the hook itself as it is the circumference around here. That would be roughly about a size C or even a B. So it has a 1, 2, and then of course you have your B and C. And then of course everything that gets larger along here, and it has a nice little measuring measurements here, and you can get your angles that you're needing. So I do use this, especially when I am using the needles and stuff like that for the knitting sizes, and then of course your crochet sizes are here. But when you look at I'll move this out of the way. These are crochet hooks, my smaller ones that I have, and I've got, I don't know, 30 of them or so. My grandmother gave me these when she taught me how to crochet back in 1993. And even then, because even some of them will have like their, 10 cents on them. I don't know if they still, no, some of them have the price, and they were like 10 cents. So I know she was an avid crocheter and knitter back in the 40s, I want to say, in the 50s, and she used to enter her work into competitions. So she gave me all her smaller hooks. So she gave me a lot of stuff, but this is just some of them. So I wanted to explain the hooks as well, because I know on, Diana was saying on the Clover video, I stated a size 7 hook, which it is a size 7 hook, but I should state that it's 1.65 millimeters, because if you look at the size, that's a size, like K or so that she uses, a size 10, it's a 6.5 millimeters. So when I say 7, she's like, the hooks are huge. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a video on this, because instead of maybe saying size 7, I should state that it's a 1.65 millimeter. Because if you look here on this one, it's a size 10, which is kind of like the K hook, but it's 1.30 millimeters. And you could see how absolutely tiny the hook is. So it's not even just so much as the hook size, but it's the diameter around it. But I use this on extremely tiny thread. Like I made a, which I should do, but it's one that took about 2 or 3 hours to make, which is not bad, but it ended up being this beautiful 3D I think they call it mandala. I never know if I'm saying that right. Like I made it into a coaster, and yeah, I should do it, but I used this, which I used these threads quite a bit. And because these are great, because they have a little bit of a stiffer quality, and you can get these this thread spool. I don't have a name or anything, but it is, you can buy it at any kind of craft store, but you can see how tiny the diameter is. I do use floss on some of my projects, and this is what Dianna brought to my attention, because the earrings turned out way too big. So if you are using a larger hook, even if it's not this size, of course, but if you're using even a smaller one, even the floss will turn out huge. Because I made and I did a video, and it ended up being like this wheel kind of thing. It was meant to be an earring, and it ended up being, I mean, it was huge. I had to laugh at myself because I was like, well, that is not going to work. So using a thread, I mean, you can see, because on most of my earring tutorials that I do, because this is my thread that I do use, but this, you can see the difference in the size itself. The thread is half the width of the floss. And again, in the description below, I'll put down the materials that I use, and everything, like a lot of my yarn, or even the floss here, I bought on Amazon, and it came in bulk. So I got a gazillion colors. And so same thing with my thread, the smaller threads that I use for the earrings. Like here's just a few I just picked up right beside me. And so they come in bulk, and you can see just, I mean, it's tiny. I think it's even, I don't know if it's tinier than this thread. Yeah, and it's not as stiff. So this one is also, this kind of thread is good for earrings as well, because it has a stiffer quality. Because one of the things that the viewer also posted is when they crocheted the clover earring that was used with the thicker floss, it is a lot flimsier. So you may need 2 coats of the fabric stiffener, but even so, sometimes it's not as stiff as you want. I don't personally like them like crazy stiff, because the more coats you do on the back, it has this tendency to look very opaque, and it has a very rough backing. So I do very thin layers as much as like I can, but sometimes it comes out like, well, I just kind of glopped that on. But yes, this is the thread material that I use, and you can see here the name, and honestly, it's another bulk from Amazon, but that is, I guess it has the size, but it just came standards, 5 grams, 47.5 yards. The size is apparently an 8, I guess, which is pretty tiny. And another one that I use on here, I think I got this one at Hobby Lobby. And again, it's just very thin, but I like it because it has that glittery effect. But pretty much all the threads and yarns that I do use, I mean, you could see just how tiny. I don't even know if I can get like a width here. I mean, it is just in width alone, it's like a millimeter wide. So if you are looking, and again, I'll put in the description box below the materials that I do use, and where you can find them, and because not all thread is the same. So, I mean, this one is even thinner in width. Well, as it got tangled, I think it's even thinner than this one. It is. It's hard to tell probably in the video, but even this, let's check out. And see, this is a little bit stiffer as well, but like if with your regular ones that I do the earrings with, even, yeah, this is still the smallest one. So it looks like whatever it is, it could be an 8. So I will definitely do my research this morning and post in the description below where you can find the materials, and post below as well some comments on where you find your threads. If you have a website, or if there's a specific company that you really like to use, that would be very helpful, because honestly, like I said, I have a Hobby Lobby, I have a Michael's, I have a Joann's, etc., all in my area. But when they were all closed during COVID, I just bought everything off of Amazon. And I noticed, you know, I mean, the prices were good for one, but a lot of the thread that I got, it came in bulk, and I'll post that one below as well. So just check out the description box, and I really do hope this helps. Diane, thank you so much for your question, and I hope that this helps everybody when you're looking for materials, or when you say that it's size 7, it's not quite, you know, a size 7. So I will, she brought a very good point up that I'll be very cognizant in my descriptions of the materials that I use, that it's a 1.65 millimeters and not necessarily a 7, because I know internationally sizes do vary. So I do hope this helps, but like I said, one of my greatest things to have because I do knitting. I'm not an expert. I do a lot of like knitting and purling, but they have some great YouTube videos out there. Just if you're reading a pattern, then it's nice, you know, to be able to use. I don't knit as much. I would love to. I'm going to say that I'm a little intimidated by the cable stitch. So I found some equivalents on how to do that in crochet, which I love to crochet. So if you have any questions or comments, please post them in the comment box, or you can even send me an email at crochetbynataliellucille@gmail.com. I really hope this helps. Let me know. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. And thank you again, Diana from Australia. You just made my day.